And we are live.
Indeed we are. June 13th, 2023. The weekly When Soon show, aka LeoFinance AMA. We are halfway through the year, and the cat is still asking when moon. Bitcoin is floating at 26K. Leo is mooning at 7 cents or so. While Bitcoin is sideways, Leo is doubled. Hashtag to the moon.
To the moon. I'm just getting these announcements out. But yeah, we, all these changes, I think, to the tokenomics and, the new UI going live, you can see a pretty direct correlation to that and the Leo price starting to go up. So I feel like we're on a good, smooth path. And our announcements are out.
Indeed.
Let me get you guys that Threadcast link.
I think I messed up and powered up too soon. I don't know why I thought LPUD was already going.
Sounds like you got to buy more.
I powered up like 170 Leo to be able to clock part of the 150 Leo power up club. I know the number of lions that powered up at least 150 Leo, I think was a record last month. So I'm trying to help push a record this month.
Yeah. Oh, are you in Discord?
I am not in Discord. Totally forgot about that.
Sorry, Discord people. I was muted too, so they were hearing absolutely nothing. We haven't really started yet. We just kind of did our announcements and shit.
All sorts of things.
Yeah, didn't hear anything here. Yeah, I mean, you didn't really miss anything. We were just getting our links. Let's see what we got here.
All right, I am in Discord. Need the headphones.
Sweet. Well, while we get ourselves rolling, I'm gonna do some LeoVerse updates.
The good old LeoVerse updates. Yes. We are live in Discord as well. Yes, not much was missed. I was just rambling about LPUD and how I powered up too soon. I don't know why I powered up yesterday. I should actually wait for the LPUD. The D stands for day.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking about the Leo price a little bit, but we'll just kind of continue with that. So, May 1st, we released the new UI, and April, I think it was 30th. The Zeely campaign went live. And along with that, we released the new tokenomics for Leo, which essentially that part of the tokenomics update was for the Leo.bounties account, which pays delegators of Hive power to @Leo.voter in daily Leo payouts. So the big update there was, I think most of you probably know, but the big update there was that instead of inflation paying those delegators, now the curation rewards are actually buying back Leo and then using that Leo to pay delegators. So that's a huge change. I think the daily inflation rate on Leo, and this was all, the inflation was kind of built into the bounties fund, which is now maxed out. So at the end of the bounties fund, we obviously had to come up with something sustainable to keep moving forward with. So we ended the bounties fund, and then from there, all the curation rewards started buying Leo. So when that started, there was about 15 to 20,000 Leo per day that was paid out to delegators. So the daily inflation rate on Leo was about 25,000 Leo a day. because the actual, without the bounties fund, the actual inflation rate for Leo is about 5,000 to 6,000 Leo a day, right in that range. And not once we ended that, that 15 to 20,000 Leo per day for delegators had to come from somewhere. So if a lot of people started clocking that Leo.bank was buying a bunch of Leo off the market, about 10 to 20,000 a day, pretty much on the dot. So that Leo had to start coming in. So naturally, if you're buying that much Leo off the market every day, the price is going to start moving up. So I think a lot of people started catching on to that, and then you saw some other buyers step in more recently. So the price of Leo has gone up a lot. I think the daily voter payouts are now down to like 4,000 to 5,000 Leo per day. So we literally went from paying 20,000 Leo per day for for the same amount of high power delegated down to about 4,000 or 5,000. So that's definitely nice in terms of how much Leo is going out, in terms of outflows. Yep, very true, Nomad Soul. I will be upvoting everyone who replies to my thread for the threadcast. I gotta start doing that too. So we basically saw that tokenomic change implemented, and that really kind of took us to a new place in terms of Leo token flows. We started to see a lot of Leo get absorbed off the market. And then, that kind of coincided with the biggest LPUD that we ever had in May. Eric will know, but there was some enormous amount of Leo powered up. Oh, he's got it here for me. 1.5 million Leo powered up in the month of May. So, that coinciding with, the new tokenomics and less Leo being flooding the market every single day. I think it all kind of just coincided to make, people start to flip their sentiment about Leo. Things around Leo and the LeoVerse have been pretty negative, I think, throughout this bear market, which is, not uncommon. I mean, we're seeing a lot of other altcoins really struggle right now. One that I've obviously been paying a lot of attention to is Rune. It's at 84 cents, which is insane. Yeah, it's taken a beating in this bear market, and most altcoins have taken a beating. I mean, other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, pretty much every altcoin has been hit by 95+% losses. So definitely a hard winter for any crypto projects out there. Leo has not only weathered the storm, I think especially on May 1st and forward, it became pretty clear that we didn't just weather the storm. We actually, we built a lot of shit during this bear market, and we were able to make a lot of really good progress. So, Project Blank finally came out. The ads program is starting to evolve and mature, and I'll get into that too. And, the new tokenomics started to come out, and, I really think we took like a quantum leap forward during this bear market, despite the price having been, along with other altcoins, down, 98, 99% of its, all-time high. So I'm excited about what this all means for the Leo token. Obviously, I think the tokenomics are going to keep playing a big role. You still see, Leo.bank placing orders to absorb, or at least try to absorb 5 to 10,000 Leo per day off the market. So a lot of Leo is getting soaked up out there. And let me get this. I just want to get this right. But the current amount of Leo staked is like a huge percentage of the current circulating supply. So total staked is 13 million Leo. Circulating supply is 16 million. So there's only 3 million Leo floating out there liquid, and the almost 99 or like 98+% of that is in the liquidity pools on Wrapped Leo, B Leo, and P Leo. So very little liquid Leo out there, and it's becoming pretty evident that the bot needs to, the delegation bot needs to absorb 5,000 Leo a day, and it's starting to struggle to buy it. So it's in terms of when it struggles to buy it, it's not able to buy it without slippage. So that means that it has to make the price go up when it buys with slippage. So pretty exciting to see how that has shaped up. the Zeely campaign obviously ended on the 10th. I think a lot of quests are still, or maybe has Eric finished all of that? He might have finished all the quest approvals, but I know that a lot of quests had to get approved. But the two winners, I guess the top two places were Underlock and Nonzo Rights. So
Yep.
congrats to both of them.
Yes, I believe the official announcement and rewards will be coming out soon. I don't think that has hit yet. I think it is tomorrow. They will have the official announcement and the rewards.
Yeah, we are. I think we're a day away from all the announcements coming out about the rewards and distributions and everything.
Yeah, the 14th. So that is tomorrow.
Yeah. So, along with that, there was the, kind of like the grand finale of the Zeely campaign was the Battle of the Three. What was it called? Was it clans or armies? Battle of the Three armies.
There was three armies.
Yep. So
yeah.
Yeah, so the big ticket item on that is that 23,000 threads were created that day, which is pretty insane to have one day where that many threads are created. So my weekend was super fun. I told Eric I was up for like probably about 50 hours straight, something like that. Just literally fixing the UI and keeping things together and working with the devs on the scaling stuff. So we made a lot of progress on scaling from that competition. We kind of need those, and I told Eric I'd love to see something like that like once a month. But we need those like big ticket events to create, basically what we need to do is we need to reach the ceiling of what's capable on threads in order to figure out how do we get to the next the next platform. And so events like that are extremely important because it just kind of shows me and the devs where things are breaking and what we can do to fix it now and in the future. So definitely when those events come out, if you are able to participate as much as you can. And a lot of people say their goal is to break the UI, and that's kind of a funny thing to say, but I mean to some degree that should be your goal, because by breaking the UI you show us what to fix. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out overall. And we've got like a huge update coming out with the new Leo Cash. So I've been kind of teasing that for a while, but Leo Cash will be out soon, and that's going to really be a game changer for threads and the whole Leo UI. Actually, it'll tie into long form as well. But just adding, with Leo Cash, we'll be able to add things like algorithms for feeds, like real algorithms where we can sort by more than just top payout or most comments. We can do a lot more intricate sorting mechanisms for that once Leo Cash is ready. So I'm excited for Leo Cash for that reason, and for a lot of other reasons, including solving the scaling problem, which is once we get beyond like 20,000 threads, we need something that can take us to 200,000 threads a day and 2 million threads a day, and that thing is Leo Cash. So you'll see the first version of it come out soon, and then we'll keep adding to it, and every time we hit that ceiling, we'll keep finding ways to break out even higher. If you so yeah, I kind of touched on LPUT a little bit already, but in May we had 1.5 million Leo powered up, and June we have the goal. So Eric's goal for June is to get over 200 lions powering up, which means 200 individual users powering up at least 150 Leo. So if you power up at least 150 Leo, you get to participate in all the LPUD rewards, and there's a bunch of rewards out there. You guys probably know most of them already, but check out the Leo growth page if you want to see the exact rewards. But Eric's goal is to cross that 200 individual user mark. I would love to say I would love to see more than 1.5 million Leo powered up so that we could beat the all-time high that we created last month. But I would honestly be really surprised if anyone could figure out how to get 1.5 million Leo. It's so illiquid right now. And the price back on May 15th was half what it is now. So obviously it's twice as expensive to power up 1.5 million. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe a bunch of that Zeely Leo that gets paid out will get powered up too.
So refresh my memory, because even though it's, Leo Power Up Day, is the actual LPUD window like a 1-day, 24-hour window, or is it longer than that?
I believe it's 24 hours. I don't think it's like on the dot 24 hours. Eric would be the person to ask about that. He's typing. But yeah, I believe it's right around that 24-hour time frame.
That was my assumption. I just wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was like literally just one specific day. I mean, early on, I remember it was. So really just curious that that's the case. I assumed it still was. Sort of a Captain Obvious question, but bigger clarity never hurts.
Yeah, so he's saying about 30 hours
Okay.
UTC time. So yeah, I mean, and then I know that like sometimes he's extended the window because the UI's gone down and stuff like that.
That is true. Yeah, I know there's been instances like that in past months with all the updates.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Bitcoin Flood, if we had like a timer for LPUD.
Oh yeah,
Maybe I'll
countdown.
try to figure something out. I don't know if
Create a
it'll
sense
happen
of
this
urgency.
LPUD, but
I don't know where you would put it. I guess maybe on the UI, like on the main page.
so in case you missed it, we had yeah, like a pin thread would be good too. We had a post go out from at LeoFinance that talked about the new view counters. So this is something that I'm super excited about, and we were working on it for a little while, and I didn't even know if it would be possible for a while. Like I thought we would have to design more APIs and it would get really complex. But now you can see the views. So last week we got simple analytics working again finally, which tracks the overall traffic and everything to LeoFinance. So you can go to simpleanalytics.com/leofinance.io, and you'll see the real-time stats and traffic for LeoFinance. But what we figured out is connecting the API from Simple Analytics into the LeoAds smart contract and the Leo UI. So not only can you now see the actual traffic counts, which is like that little views icon. So like, if your thread gets 2 views, you can see that it has like 2 views next to it, right? If you hover over that, it says this thread generated approximately, $15 or, 300 Leo in Leo ads revenue for Leo smart contract buybacks. So it's pretty crazy to have that connection. I think a lot of people, just in general, a lot of people have been waiting to see like a lot of the behind the scenes for the LeoAds protocol. And we've been really rebuilding this thing from the ground up in a lot of different ways, whether it's, from the smart contract that buys the Leo to the ad companies that we work with, to where we place ads on the UI, all sorts of stuff. We've just completely redesigned everything. And this page view thing is just really interesting because now you can see, okay, the top trending thread got 42 views, and that equals 1 Leo getting bought and burned by the ad smart contract. And we are working on it right now so that we can get it integrated into posts as well. So I think long form posts will be really interesting to see too, in terms of eyeballs. Like you can imagine that an evergreen, really well written post can like just absorb views for like 5-10 years. And you may look at that and it has 100,000 views, and it'll tell you this post generated approximately if it has 100,000 views, $3,000, $30,000 worth of Leo ads revenue that went to buyback and into the Leo ad smart contract. And that's just going to be like a crazy metric to see when things start getting a lot of views. obviously right now on threads, your average thread gets a few views. Some of the bigger threads get 50 to, 250 views. But yeah, I mean, it all adds up. I mean, that's the thing is like, we're posting, 5 to, on the big days, 20,000 threads a day. And if each of those threads gets a few views, like that adds up very quickly in terms of ad revenue. So I'm really excited about ad revenue and where things have been going lately. The view counter is a big piece of that. The other big piece of it, which actually just went live this morning, is that we integrated Google AdSense. So one issue that we have is that we've worked with crypto marketing partners for the ads. So that's like Coinzilla, BitMedia, stuff like that. The problem that they have is that we actually have enough users where they struggle to serve us enough ads throughout the day. So a lot of times you guys would just see like placeholder banners from Coinzilla that said, place your ad here, type of thing. So we, a lot of our ad revenue was kneecapped by the fact that they wouldn't serve us enough ads. The cool thing about Google AdSense is that it's so large and there's so many advertisers, with huge budgets. So we should start to get served a lot more ads. A lot of people are already saying, that they've never seen an ad before on LeoFinance up until now. And they finally saw their first ad ever after we put the Google AdSense live. So, I'm definitely really happy about how that's progressing in terms of like a new ad partner. I think that's going to end up being a lot more beneficial to us than Coinzilla and BitMedia and some of these other companies. So that's pretty much the wrap up on LeoAds. In the future, we're going to have a UI on the UI where you could actually upload your own ads. So like if another Hive project wants to come in, or another crypto project, or really anything, or even just a user that wants to promote their content, anybody can come in and submit an ad. So they'll have to adhere to certain banner sizes and stuff like that, and our UI will tell them what to do in order to submit it, basically. And then once they submit it, a poll will go live, and you guys, the Leo Power users, will be able to vote on that poll and decide, yes or no to showing that ad and approving it. So it's kind of a really cool like bid system that gets tied into Leo Power, which is the broader theme, if we want to take a step back, that this whole UI and the whole LeoVerse project in general, the whole vision for the long term was that we would build this token and we would give it a bunch of utility on this social platform, so you'd have a lot of social utility, and that's really starting to come to fruition. So holding Leo Power just gives you a lot more utility, a lot more influence on the platform, and that is that's kind of the entire goal. If you want to compare it to Web 2, platforms like Twitter and Facebook have started doing the thing with the $8 to $10 verification check marks. And if you do that, you get more impressions on your content, you get more access to like premium features and stuff like that. We're basically doing that same model, but instead of you have to pay $8 a month, it's you have to hold this amount of Leo Power or more. So it just gives a whole other added utility to Leo Power on top of curation and Leo Power APY from the ad revenue. So it's definitely fascinating to see all this stuff shape up.
Always things going on.
Always.
I've been trying to thread, whether it was a GIF or a whatever, because my humor couldn't help get the best of me when you talked about not being served enough ads. So all I could think of is you got served. And I was trying to post a thread with a funny GIF, but it was not working out. So I will give up, I suppose. And then I was like, all right, maybe I'll just paste a picture with, a meme. And then like, it wasn't fitting, like, and the words are getting cut out. I'm like, son of a bitch. Cat doesn't know how to thread properly. Me and the images are not getting along on the threads. But yes, more ads need to be served. I'm scrolling through now, like the one ad on the Threadcast that I'm getting honestly kind of sucks.
Which ad?
Just I'm getting an ad I don't know if everyone gets the same ad or, if it's more user specific, but I'm just getting an ad that isn't very good. It's for TV shows, but it's literally just a big green button that says continue. And it's like
Yeah,
a white.
it's unique. So Google Ads has their own mechanisms for serving ads. So, some of the devs are from other countries and stuff. And while we were testing this, they were sending screenshots and they're getting served ads in their native language. So it's like,
That's cool.
yeah, Coinzilla was like kind of like this blunt instrument. Google AdSense is very targeted. It's like Facebook ads, it's you're getting targeted ads based on, what you search, what what country you're from and stuff like that. So the relevance of ads has definitely increased, which is good for the advertisers and it's good for us because we should start to earn more from each ad. So I'm excited to see that kind of play out. Obviously it's only been, I think it's only been about 3 hours since we've had that AdSense live.
Well, and what's cool with AdSense is that, like you said, it is more interactive. So like me as a user, like that ad, I'm like, you know what? I don't like that ad. So I can basically hit the little X and, basically not see that ad again. And then I usually ask why, and you can put not interested or already purchased or inappropriate or whatever the options are.
Yep.
So you'll be able to see ads that are more catered to the things you want. Yeah, see, so finally I did that. It gave me another one that was like that, but now it gave me an actual one that to me feels like a legit ad where it's for some software and it's like first 10 users are free, sign up, but at least it's telling me like what it is. The other one was like more like a survey or something. So Jira software. Let's see what this ad is all about. Project management made easy. There you go. I'll sign the dev team up for this software. Crap. You froze on my end, but I don't know if oh, you're back.
Oh, we're back. I don't
You
know
froze.
what that's about.
You froze for a minute. I heard you like, did I freeze? And I was like, uh-oh. But yeah, cool.
Yeah, so we'll kind of see how this all takes shape. Obviously, like I said, it's only been 3 hours, so let's kind of see where this all goes.
Exactly. Circling back to Zealy housekeeping, because we talked about obviously, the conclusion of the, I don't know, we'll call it the first campaigns and the winners. And like I said, the official announcement, I believe, will be out tomorrow, and the rewards will be paid out per our fearless marketing leader. And then we just saw a question about what about the keyword for today? Well, Crypto Geek, there will be no keyword because the campaigns and quests are ended and the winners will be paid out. But there's good news. The Zealy campaigns are not going away. So, rumor has it, on the 18th, there will be new quests. So, rest up, get your energy levels high, because in the Sooniverse, there are new quests coming. So the 18th, what is that? Is that this weekend? Yep, Sunday. Sunday fun day. So yes, get your rest, get your training in, and be ready to go. Because
be ready.
The next quest is set for the 18th, according to a Nomad Soul.
Be ready.
There you go. Well, Sunseeker, you get 5 days to get all the other things done. The Path of the Cub Noob is coming on as an onboarding tool on Zealy. That's pretty cool. Is that,
yeah, so the Zealy restarts on the 18th.
Yes.
Soft mode.
I like this Path of Cub Noob. Can we make it like, will it be like Zelda? Can we make it look like Zelda? That was the first type of quest game I ever played. Back in the day, it's like probably like sixth grade on good old Nintendo. It's crazy how time like Zelda was the shit back then. That game's had staying power though. It was reincarnated a few times. But yeah, so no keyword today. Next quest starts on the 18th. Get your rest. I think that does cover everything in regards to the Zealy campaign. We announced the winners. Yep. But yeah, so
Sweet.
the Zealy campaigns aren't going anywhere. They are going to be a regular part of the LeoFinance ecosystem.
They
We talked
are
about Alpod.
ongoing.
All right, so now you touched on the ad revenue a little bit. So along with that, the UI couples into that as well. So, you know, you mentioned the view counters on Thread and the ad revenue generated by threads. So now I know I saw it talked about in general too, but basically like the breakdown of that, like the people that saw it per per IP or something, like there's a cap or whatever, so it can't really be like gamified.
Yeah, so someone said that they were trying to use like an auto refresh bot to like try and game the ad revenue.
Mm,
Um, Problem with that is that ad companies don't like that. If you're just sitting there and using a bot to refresh. So
yeah.
what happens is the ad company will start to IP rate you.
Mm,
So they will start to just not show you any more ads. So if you refresh enough times, actually, you'll start to not see any ads anywhere on the
gotcha.
UI. You'll just see like placeholders and stuff. So it's actually, and this user was saying that large Leo stakeholders would start to use bots like this to game the ad revenue so that it buys and burns more Leo. And
If only I was that smart.
I gotta be right back. 1 second.
Cal's got emergencies popping up. Well, that's good because that gives me a moment to mention the long form because we're talking about UI. So the new long form layout is pretty badass. I just looked at it myself before we jumped on. So now we have the ability to look at just LeoFinance or all of Hive. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. So if you go to the articles page, you'll see up top a drop down that says Leo and then one that says Hive. Like that's cool because the goal is for people not to leave the LeoFinance UI. So you don't need to go to PeakD or Easton or Hive.blog for that matter to see all the Hive blogs as opposed to just LeoFinance. So I was not even aware that that was in the works. And I do think it is a awesome add-on and makes my life easier because I can just stay on LeoFinance UI now instead of jumping between UIs. So
Sorry about that.
you're good. So just an FYI out to everyone. That is an awesome new feature. But yeah, so Cal, I was just giving everyone the heads up on the new long form updates, which I'm a fan of. And then
Yeah, we worked on that for a long time. And we went to the drawing board a lot to design it. Ultimately, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I think most of you guys are too. So there's definitely some things that need to get fixed though. So bear with us while we keep working on it. But yeah, it's a big step function change in the way that long form was done on Leo, on the old UI and obviously on this one. So now you got that toggle at the top where you can go from Leo to Hive. And you can basically see, so if you toggle Hive, you are essentially looking at the same feeds that would be shown to you on like peak D or ecency or something, which I think is really cool because it's basically just keeping people on the UI. I think I heard the last part of what you were saying, that we get to keep people from leaving the UI and using other ones, which obviously is good for ad revenue and good for the Leo business model.
Indeed.
So yeah, having that toggle is really cool. The next kind of phase of this long form update. So something that needs to get fixed is the feeds. I think the feeds are, the feeds need some work. They don't seem to be showing the right order of content sometimes, in terms of like trending and stuff. So we're going to work on that both for the Leo and the Hive feeds. I actually think the Leo feed is fine, but I think it's mostly the Hive feed. If I recall correctly, that's the problem. Also, we haven't released the created, like the new tab yet, but we are going to release that soon. Once we fix it up a little bit. So new tab's going to get added. Trending and hot are going to get fixed. I think following is working fine. And then actually it's not working at all. So yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at that. And then after that, we're going to roll out the communities update. So you can see there that there's kind of like a placeholder there for communities. If you try to click on any of that stuff, it won't work, obviously. But we are going to start integrating with other Hive communities and allow them to use the UI to publish to their own communities. So that's exciting. I think like the big excitement though should be around, we are integrating with communities for long form, but we're actually going to add a feature. And this is something I talked about way back in the day, when we first started talking about threads, for community pages. So we kind of released a very primitive version of community pages on the old UI. And I obviously have a ton of ideas for how we can make that, really how we can make that like have a deep utility for different projects, both on Hive and outside of Hive. A big piece of that is giving each community the tool to have their own both long form and microblogging threads feeds. So community pages will have, both long form and threads that are baked into that community and can be moderated by that community. So I think that's going to be a huge game changer for a lot of projects on Hive that want to build out on threads, but potentially don't know how to or don't have the tools to yet. This is going to be a huge way to allow your community to come over to threads, create a bunch of threads, and then you can moderate them and choose what's in the feed and what isn't. So really excited about community pages. I think that, to me, that was like one of the big features that would get rolled out someday. So I'm excited to have that finally coming to fruition.
I'm scrolling through the thread cast. There's a lot of threads. I don't know if I'm supposed to be picking questions or not. I heard that the questions will be brought to us. But Nifty's chatting in Discord. Any idea why Threadcast stopped loading after a certain amount of comments on certain browsers? For example, I can only see like 30 of the 60 comments on Opera, but on Microsoft Edge, I can see them all. Same with Brave. That's interesting. I'm on Chrome and I don't think I'm having that problem. Or maybe I am, because the latest thread is 5 minutes ago.
I don't think that that's a browser specific issue. I know for a fact that there are some scaling issues with threads once they get beyond a certain point. So like if you see a thread with over 300 comments, sometimes it can hit the ceiling that I was talking about. That obviously gets fixed with Leo Cache. That's good to know, Sunseeker. Yeah, if you guys discover any issues with anything on the UI, but especially with the login methods, that's something I'm going to start focusing a lot on in the next couple of weeks. So if you notice anything, head over to the bug report channel and open a bug report for it. So we don't always respond to those bug reports, but we are always reading them and taking the feedback. So Any info that you can drop for us to, collect and use for fixes is really helpful. So if you can, if your friend is having trouble signing up and signing in with Google, it would be really helpful if you have, like screenshots or, replication steps, anything that you can provide us, and then we can get it fixed. But yeah, we're always keeping an eye out on that bug channel.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of like, working out bugs, AKA kind of better user experience, ads are already getting their act together. So like I said, I kind of X'd out a couple, and then when I just refreshed threads this latest time, I got an ad for real estate. And I clicked on it, and it's actually LoopNet, and it's for a commercial office building in Rhode Island, which is not too far from the area I vest. I'm like, this is cool. I was like, talk about a targeted ad. I'm like, that didn't take long at all. How'd they even know? It's actually kind of freaky. I'm a little freaked out right now. That's way too targeted.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about these big companies, they have the ability to target you.
Yes, Google,
which is good for them, good for us.
No one stalks like Google and Facebook.
Yeah, it's true.
This is interesting. Sweet Cal. Let's buy a anchored commercial building.
Let's do it.
Oh, apparently it's
Put
being
Leo
auctioned
on the
off.
sign.
Exactly. Starting bid 300,000. That's super cheap. That's wild though.
Bid on it live.
Pretty sure you want the Leo headquarters not in Rhode Island.
Probably not.
If you're gonna stay in the cold, you just stay home base. Otherwise, take your butt south.
True.
Leo Miami. We can turn that into a mascot as well. Get a little lion mascot that's got some sunglasses and a fedora. Miami him all out.
I feel like that would be cool.
Lose my voice already.
Should we jump into some of these questions we got from the AMA that Eric dropped? AMA collection box.
Do it.
When search tag on long form posts. Search for tag. Probably soon. Like I said, I think the next rollout is going to be fixing those feeds. That's kind of top priority right now. After that, we're gonna work on the communities update. That's almost done. And then we'll start working on tags. And honestly, tags might actually roll out with communities now that I think about it. Because we started working on tags. Tag search, I don't know if we planned that from the beginning, but I'll check in and see when we're gonna get that rolled out. But yeah, at the very least, communities and tags are gonna be out pretty soon. So search for tags, maybe in the Sooniverse, but probably. Is there a cap on how much ad revenue can be generated in a certain period? Are there ways to prevent abuse? Yeah, I kind of covered that a little bit, but basically, Google AdSense has their own way of preventing abuse. And, if it starts to become a problem for us, we can easily put in some rate limiters on our own. If Google starts complaining to us that's happening. But yeah, it's definitely a no-no to use bots and other, shit like that. So, don't abuse the ads. Let them be used for what they're meant for. But there's obviously ways that we can kind of control that if it gets out of hand. When do we get a front page space for threadcasts? I do have a design ready to go for threadcasts. I have a really cool idea in mind that's kind of draws inspiration from, if you guys remember Clubhouse and then like Twitter Spaces. I've got some cool ideas for that. I don't know when, but soon would be my answer. Remember to turn off your ad blocker. Yeah, if you want to support, a lot of websites say this, support the site because it's, free to use by turning off your ad blockers. LeoFinance is very much like that, but you're actually supporting Leo by doing that. So, the whole economy kind of hinges around the ad revenue, and if you are a heavy user of the site, definitely consider turning off your ad blockers. If you're on Brave, turn off your shields for LeoFinance. We don't have any like heavy scripts and shit like that. It's not like going to the New York Times where it blows you up with bullshit. So definitely consider turning your ad blockers and Brave shields off to contribute to the ad revenue. When polls to approve ads, I talked about that too. I don't know when, but soon. When polls with a timer, also don't know when, but soon. Rapid fire AMA. I think that pretty much covered it. One thing we forgot to mention in the updates. So there's been a lot of UI updates. We talked about the long form. We talked about the viewer, the view counter, which the view counter blows my mind. I'm so excited about that. And I'm really excited to get that rolled out for pages, not pages, posts soon. I think you can tell that I didn't sleep that much this week. The other thing is Eric's been working really hard on all these partnerships. He got a lot of really good leads from the Zeely campaign. There were a lot of different quests in order to, do a bunch of marketing stuff and help Eric out, find partnerships and seek people out and set up meetings. So our first partnership has officially come through. And that is the, am I pronouncing this right? The Sanner Trading League, which is by the Sentiments project. So we've, Eric's been working on this partnership, and I think it's getting ready to go live. Let me see what he said about when. So I get the exact date right.
It looks like it starts on the 18th.
18th. I don't know why I'm
It
like
starts on the
losing my
18th,
place.
and there is an announcement prepared.
Sweet.
There's some official spaces, tutorials, and cross promotion between us and them. They're also creating their Leo account. So that's cool.
Yeah, and you guys can catch it at this link. I will drop it. There's the link for our trading club. I don't know if I was supposed to drop that link, Eric. Eric can tell me to delete it if I need to. He's typing.
Drop an alpha, even if you're not supposed to.
Right. I don't know if I had permission. Oh, okay, cool. I had permission. Awesome. Go join the trading club, trading league. It's going to be some cool stuff on that. Yep. So pretty excited about that. I think the partnerships is going to start taking a big front seat for the marketing stuff. So, we've done a lot in terms of marketing, especially on the Hive blockchain and, within the Leo community. But now it's time to start really looking outwards and getting ready to, onboard the masses. The UI is starting to get into a really good place in terms of usability. I know some of you guys are getting app errors today. It's actually because of the Google Ads integration that devs are working on it right now. So yeah, I know MedSoul's got it right. Time to go off the Hive borders and go off and find greener pastures to bring into the Hive borders. So, we've got this nice plot of land. We've got a big community in terms of, the crypto space. Our community is actually very large at like 1,200 monthly active users. But now it's time to take over other kingdoms and bring them in. So time to go out and conquest as the lions do. We'll expand our territory. See how many other buzzwords I can start to fire off. I think that covers it on all the updates.
Yeah,
so I hit those AMA questions too.
Yeah, I think there's still like some things out there in terms of questions in general. Like I think there's confusion with the APY versus APR when it comes to Leo delegation payouts.
Yeah, I saw some people, kind of arguing back and forth about delegation payouts. So the Leo.voter delegation, I talked about the new tokenomics and how that's all working, but the payouts remain the same. The difference is Leo is a lot more expensive now. So you are getting paid less Leo in terms of tokens, but the dollar value remains the same. As the Leo price goes up, you'll get less Leo. So I think a lot of complaints have started because people are like, oh, I used to get, 300 Leo per day, and now I'm only getting 120 Leo per day. What's up with that? And the Leo price is up a little bit over 2x. So naturally you got half as much Leo, which is worth, the same amount of dollars that it was worth when you were getting 300 Leo. So that's pretty much where I think a lot of those concerns come from. Then I saw some people were trying to calculate like the daily APR. But you got to take the APR and then consider compounding to get APY. So APR is, annual percentage rate. APY is annual percentage yield. But the basic difference is that APY considers that you're compounding and APR does not. So, the APY is obviously the metric that we always advertise. That's what is naturally advertised in the crypto space because it's a little more flashy, a little more nice. So yeah, that's basically the answer for that. But yeah, I expect, and I've been a little bit harsh with people who ask a lot of questions about that and why their Leo amounts are going down, just because I've gotten asked it so many times over the last 2 weeks while the price has been going up. But I think a lot of us with all these tokenomics changes are expecting Leo to perform pretty well. Obviously Leo could easily go right back down to 3 cents, or it could go to 30 cents. Like nobody knows. But if Leo does go to, say 30 cents and it becomes 1-to-1 with Hive, in the next, month or two, that obviously is going to mean that your Leo payouts per day are going to go down a lot. So if you're already concerned about how little Leo you're getting, it's possible that you'll get even less Leo in the next couple of months as the price keeps going up. But like I said, the dollar value is still the same. So, and a lot of these people complaining, if you look, they're pretty much just selling the Leo every day. So it actually has no real impact to them. They're just selling less Leo than they were before, but for the same amount of dollars, if that makes sense. So a lot of error and noise out there.
There always is, which is good because that only happens when there's activity in something.
Taskmaster DM'd me a personal question for the AMA. He asked when edit button for long form. And my answer to him is soon. Surprise, surprise.
Huh. I didn't even notice that wasn't an edit button, but I guess that's because I haven't yet needed to edit.
Yeah, we actually added the edit button for threads already. So that was a big request.
Yes, that I've used.
Posts, yeah, for long form posts, we've got a lot of long form updates in the queue, and one of them is the edit button. So my official answer is soon.
It is the win soon show for a reason.
That is true. Very true.
Well,
very true.
I'm sure there's always more questions, but while we search for those, we can always talk about the crypto market in general. I mean, I think the most prevalent thing right now is the SEC's clear and obvious war on crypto.
Yeah, I've been following this and writing some posts about it, and obviously, it's of big interest to, I think, anybody who's invested in crypto. My line of thinking has always been that regulation is good for this industry. You need regulation to have, real adoption at scale, not just in terms of like retail adoption, but, for, institutions to come in and really take crypto to the next level. I think you need regulation. But regulation means having clear guidelines, clear rules to follow, and clear processes to get, assets, tokens, securities, whatever you want to call them, to get them listed and traded on exchanges. That's what regulation means. What the SEC has been doing under, Gary Gensler has been not doing that. So they are, and Coinbase rightly calls it regulation by enforcement. So, they aren't really giving any guidelines to anybody. They're not willing to work with anybody. Coinbase says that they've been reaching out and they've had, some ridiculous number, like dozens of meetings with the SEC over the last several months, trying to get clarity on, what they can do and what they can't do, and how they can be compliant. And they say that the SEC is not basically non-responsive. So, it's pretty clear that this is some kind of like personal vendetta against crypto, not regulation. So when people call this crypto regulation or a regulatory crackdown, I don't really look at it that way. I look at it more as like a vendetta that for some reason they're trying to like cancel crypto like they do to, the influencers that they don't like. I've never been against regulation. I've never been concerned about regulation, but I do find it concerning with crackdowns like this that have no real basis in reality. And, I watched a podcast talking about the trading volume in the US for crypto, and that it was down to 15%, and every year it continues to decrease. So capital, talent, companies are leaving US borders in order to operate in this industry. And I think, obviously we're all super biased because we're already in this industry, but, no matter who you are, I think it's undeniable that crypto, Bitcoin, blockchain technology is going to have a very big role to play in the future. It's kind of like people who are like AI naysayers that say, oh, it's just a fad and it's going to go away, or people who did that with the internet. Crypto is not going anywhere. It's a completely new industry, and some of the most talented people in the world right now who are building companies and working at companies are building not only in the AI space, but in the crypto space. And if you crack down without clear regulation, you're just going to keep pushing people out of your borders. Imagine if the US banned the internet and said, you can't use the internet in the United States. You can't build a company that uses the internet. You can't be a consumer who uses the internet. You can't build a corporation that leverages the internet. What would have happened? All the innovation, talent, and capital would have moved overseas. And we're kind of seeing that happening with crypto right now, which I think is kind of sad to see because, I think the US's value proposition in the world is as an innovation center. Obviously I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that get diminished. But there was recently, breaking news. And Kat, I want to hear your opinion on this and what you think. A bill was just proposed to remove Gary Gensler from the SEC and actually restructure it to have a SEC board instead of just a chairman. Have you seen that, and what do you think about it?
I didn't actually see even the details. I just saw the SEC Stabilization Act and the headline that it basically was aiming to get him removed. I think the board idea is good because, you get more of a democracy and less of a dictatorship. So at the end of the day, if you have one ass clown in a position of power, it's not all encompassing and kind of screwing everyone. Because with the board, it's like, let's just say you have a board and Gensler's on that board. Well, that's just one person out of whatever it is. Let's just say it's 3 people. So if he's ridiculous and the other 2 aren't, then, well, there you go. The impact is going to be much less negative. I always like the idea of some kind of board with limits, though, because you also get the too many cooks in the kitchen problem. So, but yeah, I think, it's kind of like, what do you have? Like Supreme Court justices, there's not just one. And for good reason. Right. So
yeah, you don't want to have one person in charge of something that is so impactful to, the economy and companies and retail investors. And, it's that's kind of counter to how this whole, government and country is set up.
On the flip side, though, I mean, there's also on this, I'm sure there's plenty of people that, have this theory, but there's also just a alternative outlook where there's people that don't believe like Gensler really is anything but just a figurehead, and he's just receiving marching orders from powers that be that are higher than him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, if he is removed, will it change anything? That remains to be seen. Ideally, it does. There's cliche statements out there for a reason. And, one that's been around for more than my lifetime is the more things change, the more they stay the same. So,
Yep.
we shall see if there's a turnover at the top of the SEC, what kind of impact that has, or if it's just more so a publicity event. But either way, I think change will be good, because we know what we got and it ain't good. So in this case, the devil is not better than the devil you don't. I don't really see it. I don't see how it could get worse. I mean, there's just straight hate on crypto from the SEC.
Yeah, I think it's a personal type of vendetta, especially because the funny thing is that Gensler actually, I think Binance's board came out with information that they showed that Gensler applied for a position to work at Binance. So it's really funny to see. It's almost like, hey, I got rejected from working in this industry, so now I'm going to tear it down.
Could be. There are people that are that childish.
Yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, I think it all is going to shake out somewhere in the middle. I think that's kind of how the world tends to work. You move as a pendulum and then you settle in the middle.
That is generally what happens.
So inflation, everyone's obviously been keeping a close eye on inflation. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the UK right now. The Bank of England is still very worried about inflation, and people seem to be betting that they're going to see more interest rate hikes, in the UK. So, that's kind of interesting considering that this week we've got, the Fed meeting again. And I think the general expectation is a rate pause, or a quarter of a basis point increase. So what's your take?
I mean, it seems like everyone is settled in and is positive that they're going to pause this month. And then the latest I saw is there's the odds for a July increase is 67% for a quarter point, but they're going to pause this month. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the month over month inflation data was better than expected, at 0.1. We're down to 4. In theory, inflation, still exists. Like, the cost of everything still went up over the past month. And the year-over-year rate, we're going to continue to see decline because I talked about this a while back. I think there was a matrix, and it basically showed like as long as month over month was like 0.4 or less, that the rate of inflation would decrease on a year-over-year basis because of the comparisons from last year being so freaking high. So it's kind of funny. So, I mean, yeah, inflation's down, but yeah, I'm more than happy for the Fed not to raise because it doesn't help me at all. I got plenty of interest rates that are ticking up every time the Fed raises. So cost of money increasing. But we shall see. The market's been pretty on point so far, with the Fed raises the amounts, and we'll see if they get it right this time. I am wrapping up the recap post because I have a hard stop at 1:30 Eastern. So we got about 5 more minutes. So if there's any other last minute questions, I feel like we kind of touched on any of the noteworthy economic crypto events.
Yeah, I think we did. In more local news, Hive's been at the Web3 Berlin conference.
That's right.
So that is a big win for Hive in terms of marketing. I think a lot of people have been looking forward to some Hive marketing in general. I know that's obviously been a huge point for pretty much everybody in the world of Hive. One thing that I've been really excited about, and I wrote a post if you guys want to see more expanded thoughts on what I think about Hive right now, but I've actually gotten really excited about Hive from a economic perspective. I've always been really bullish on Hive from a technology perspective, which is why obviously I've spent a lot of resources and time building on this blockchain. But there's a lot more behind the scenes with Hive lately in terms of economics that have gotten me excited. I wasn't always very excited about Hive from a investment perspective, on like an investment in the crypto token perspective. I was more bullish on investing in the technology. But lately, with all the changes with HBD and namely HBD, but then also with resource credits and the idea of projects growing in the future, I've gotten a lot more bullish on Hive as a token. So obviously go read my post if you want to hear more about that. But in the short term, I'm bullish on Hive because of HBD. I think we can bring in a lot of capital and institutional grade money into this ecosystem, which is sorely needed. I also think it's a huge and positive marketing play. That's how Terra Luna, grew into this huge project. And obviously that's an interesting example to use because of how it ended. But HBD has mechanisms in place to not end up like that. So I think it's important that if we could get that in front of the right people, Hive could, start to market itself and actually start to take off in terms of users and investors. And then, so that's kind of like my short-term vision of Hive economically. My long-term vision of Hive economically is around resource credits and users and applications. So, if you can get 100 projects like Leo and Splinterlands to grow and, get tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of users, then resource credits are going to actually be expensive and hard to get, which is what you want, because that means that the Hive price is going up. So I'm actually pretty bullish on Hive, both in the short term and long term for those two reasons. But obviously not financial advice. But I have been accumulating some Hive, and I've been accumulating a lot of HBD lately. So definitely starting to get bullish on this ecosystem in terms of finance, not just in terms of technology.
Yeah, I mean, I stack Hive just by keeping my post rewards. I haven't been buying it. I did buy some HBD earlier in the year. I got a chunk. There was a certain stack I wanted to get to, and I have that all in savings. And I reinvested the earnings, the monthly earnings from those savings to get to a specific number that I wanted to reach, which I will basically be at come the end of this month. After that, I may take some of those HBD earnings and deploy them into either Hive or Leo.
I hear Leo's got some potential, but I don't know. I'm not too clued in on it.
Rumor has it some random dude's been talking about Leo potential for price to go up.
You never know. You never know.
You never know is indeed correct. But anyway, another good week of productivity and updates. UI updates for the win. Zealy campaigns for the win. And Leo price appreciation for the win. So been a good week.
Great week. Yep. And we got a lot of updates. It's been a hard weekend of driving the devs and pushing out updates. So we've got a lot in the pipeline that's about to go live. So definitely keep heading over to the UI to be up to date with it all.
100%.
And as always, don't forget to upvote the cat. He dropped his recap post I will thread it out right now and remind you guys.
Sounds like a great idea. We got the 20th is next Tuesday, so we will
Sweet.
see you guys then. Same cat time, same cat channel. Probably better than same bat time, bat channel. And Leo just didn't flow as well. Same Leo time, Leo. Same lion
True.
time, lion channel. That goes a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
Sweet. We'll see
Cool
you guys on
deal.
the 20th then.
yeah, see you all next week. Until then, may your threads be active and your payouts be plentiful.
Yep.
Peace.